Hello, 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 everyone. We're just gonna wait for some people to come in and then we'll get started. And I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. I know this is a little different and I'll explain and everything. I'll definitely explain, but we'll definitely wait for you guys to come in. Hello to whoever just walked in. Thank you for being here. And then I'll explain what's going on. Wisdom Wednesday is going to be a little different this week. And usually you guys are used to a video or like a voiceover with like quotes and my feelings on the topic of Wisdom Wednesday, but I thought and I felt this week would be a little different because I wanted to get everyone else's opinion and actually have a discussion. You guys are great in my comment section when it comes to Wisdom Wednesday videos, but I wanted to do this live and everybody can. Hello, David. How are you? Everyone can come up and hi, Taylor. Everyone can come up and share their opinion. I'm just sharing this out on different social medias. I've already shared it out in certain places. But I thank you two for being technically early. So I'm doing all right. Other than a little bit of allergies that are starting to flare up again. I thought allergies were going to be over for the rest of the summer, but they're starting to come back. So, yeah. But I wanted to do Wisdom Wednesday a little bit differently because honestly, I haven't done a Wisdom Wednesday in like 2 weeks. And I had started to get really consistent with doing Wisdom Wednesday. But somewhere around 2 weeks ago, it was just like I stopped feeling motivated to do it. And I don't know why exactly. But honestly, as I'm giving you guys a motivation, me coming up with different topics and different explanations and my different opinions and feelings, reading you guys' comments have been giving hello to whoever just walked in, has been giving me the same positivity and motivation as I feel like Wisdom Wednesday is giving to y'all. So for the last 2 weeks, even though I have been pushing out content and doing content that I enjoy, Wisdom Wednesday just wasn't coming to me. Like the feelings of it or the ideas of it wasn't coming. Like my heart just wasn't in that place. And I wanted to keep Wisdom Wednesday intentional. Like I wanted my words to be intentional and I wanted what I had to say come from my heart. I didn't want it to be pre-recorded or something that I researched. I wanted it to be my feelings, and at the time, I wasn't really having many feelings about anything, so it was just like no Wisdom Wednesday, but I was putting a video in its place. So after focusing on what I wanted and just focusing on letting my heart guide me when it comes to Wisdom Wednesday and being focused on letting my heart speak for itself, I felt like my intentions were coming back to just letting my heart speak for what I felt. And if that's going to be encouraging, I feel like when I'm encouraging somebody or somebody's encouraging me and vice versa, I want their heart to speak because I want their encouragement and I want my encouragement to people to come from the heart. So that's where I'm at with Wisdom Wednesday. So as I had been thinking about a new topic of discussion, hello to whoever just walked in, and I was thinking about a new topic for Wisdom Wednesday, it got me really thinking about trusting yourself because I was just like, okay, when it comes to doing any, hello, Eat to Live Strong, how are you? Oh, and our featured channel just walked in the door. I forgot to mention that. So let me get the usual things out the way. Hello, Living Better. Let me get the usual things out the way before we actually get into the topic, even though I just explained why there's been a lack of Wisdom Wednesday. We do have a featured channel. Eat to Live Strong is our featured channel. All her channel information is linked in the description. And if you guys want to check out her channel, all you have to do is click the link in the description. I've checked the link to make sure it works, but if it does not work for you, let me know. And I'll find a different link and we'll go from there. But what I was saying about Wisdom Wednesday, as I was coming up with this topic, it got me to thinking after not doing this topic. I'm glad you're okay. And I'm doing okay as well. As I was thinking of this topic, it got me wondering, like, as we do things, do we honestly trust ourselves? And that's how my heart has been filled with this topic. It's like questioning, do I really trust myself sometimes? Because I feel like if people are asking and I'm giving my opinion and I'm having all these conversations, whether it's about life or different things, it starts to make you question, do you really trust yourself? Because you have all these different friendships with people and relationships with people like your family and your friends. And sometimes you're like, do I really trust myself, or am I really good enough to be sitting or standing or watching in the same rooms as these people? You start comparing. You tend to start to compare yourself. You start to compare yourself to other people, which sometimes when you start comparing yourself to other people, you lose confidence in yourself to know that you made the right decision for yourself, or trusting that you made the right decision for yourself just because you possibly didn't follow the roadmap that was laid out for you or set out for you. So it makes me start to think, how can we have so much trust in other people or be willing to trust other people easily when sometimes we don't even trust ourselves? Because the first question sometimes people will ask is, do you trust me? And 9 times out of 10, you'll be like, yes, because you don't want the person to feel like you can't trust them. So your quick response is yes. Or you could be like, yes, I really do trust you. But when you're saying that you trust somebody else, at the same time, are you trusting in your abilities to know that the situation you're standing in right now is a good situation for you? Because we often, most times, don't go on our first instinct. So it's like, if we don't go on our first instinct, are we literally weighing our options? Is this right or wrong? Or is this the right step to take, or whatever? There's always so many questions with, is this right? But sometimes we weigh so many other people's opinions about what's right that we forget that we have our own instincts, we have our own knowledge to make that decision, to say, yes, I trust myself, that I know that this is right or this is wrong for me. So I'm going to drop the link, or somebody in the chat can just type their opinion. But if they want to come up here and give their opinions on trusting yourself, then they can do so. Give me 1 second and I will drop the link, and you can cover your face as well if you choose to do so. Let's see. Taylor says, I think when it comes to trusting yourself, there's a lot of self-doubt. Taylor, I definitely would agree with that. When it, like you said, when it comes to trusting yourself, there you do create a lot of self-doubt, because sometimes you don't feel worthy of your own trust. So I definitely agree with you when you say it does create a lot of self-doubt. But I think also sometimes trusting yourself is being able to calm your own fears. Like if you got that far to a certain stage where you have become confident in certain areas, you should be able to trust yourself to make a decision for yourself, because you would know yourself best. So you should trust yourself at least in certain areas to make a decision without asking someone else's opinion. Yes, it's good to be yes, sometimes it's good to get other people's perspectives and opinions, but at the same time, how their opinions can sway you away from what you really want or need. And it can confuse you because if you take 5 opinions and you have to dissect each part of the person's opinions and then actually figure out what you want to do, what your mind's telling you, what your heart's telling you. So sometimes, okay, Eat to Live Strong says, I second guess persons in certain things. Yes, I do too. I definitely second guess people in certain things. Yeah, especially in a certain area that I feel they haven't walked through. So how can they can tell me what they would do if they were put in that situation, but if I'm coming to a person, I never guessed my personal side. Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes you have to talk to just yourself because you have to have that personal connection. Like you would know what's best for you better than someone else. Even when it comes to your parents, sometimes you're like, when they're like, well, I think you should do this or I think you should do that, sometimes you have to say, no, I think this is best for me and this is why. And sometimes when saying that, owe and you never owe anyone an explanation for why you decided for yourself because you are a human being and you have the right to make that decision for yourself. And trusting yourself is sometimes taking the power away from other people that they may technically feel that they have over you. Once their power is taken away, when they feel like they have something over you, then they're no longer have that type of control over you. So sometimes taking yourself and trusting yourself and thinking for yourself can take back your own power to know that you're good enough to make choices and make decisions. Yes, we all are going to question pretty much every decision we make because one, we don't want to get hurt. Two, we don't want to see somebody else get hurt. And three, you also think from a stability standpoint, is this going to be the best stable situation or choice for what I'm trying to do in my life? But it does leave a question of how do you stop doubting yourself so you can trust yourself? If trusting yourself can create a lot of self doubt, the next question would be how do you stop letting self doubt take over to where you can feel confident and comfortable enough to trust yourself? That would be the next question. How do you take that self doubt away? Yes, it's practically never going to go away, but how do you take it away enough to at least say for the next, let's say, 15 minutes, every choice I make, I'm not going to question myself about it. I'm just going to make the choice because I'm confident enough that I'm making the right decision. Even if you only can do that for 15 minutes. Or it might even start with just making one decision per day to where you don't ask an opinion, you kind of just do. You don't ask an opinion, you don't get a second opinion, you put your own thoughts into it and just be like, I'm going to make this one decision for myself without asking anyone's opinion. So, how do you get rid of the self-doubt? Because sometimes I feel like self-doubt can be created by our own insecurities sometimes. And then sometimes self-doubt can be created by the insecurities that other people try to place upon us. Hold on, Taylor is saying something. Let's see. She says, my daughter's social worker used to say, you are disabled. You are disabled, not your parents. They're not always right. It has to you. Taylor, I would definitely agree with that in the sense of sometimes it is, if I understand what you're saying, sometimes it is hard for your parents to place themselves in your shoes. So I could see why somebody would tell you that, because sometimes if you haven't been in someone's shoes or experienced something, it's kind of hard for you to imagine it. But at the same time, your parents are doing what they feel or whatever they feel is right based upon the research that they have done and talking. It's okay, Taylor. I get it. You have to be you. Yes, you do have to be yourself. You have to be authentically you. And being authentically you is making choices. And sometimes choices can be hard. We talked about a few weeks ago on another Wisdom Wednesday about having a choice. And making those choices means you trust yourself enough to make those choices. But being authentically you, there's only one you. Nope. Some people might have the same abilities, but they're not going to do things the same way that you would do them. So you have to be able to place trust in yourself and be like, I'm strong enough to handle this. Now, if you think about a comic book like, well, I'll say superhero. I don't know if there's actually a Spider-Man comic book. But if you think about Clark Kent was Clark Kent, and then he was also Spider-Man. As Clark Kent, he wasn't as confident in himself. But when he put on his mask and his costume as Spider-Man, he had all the confidence in the world, but those were still him. But he felt like he had to wear a mask for him to be great and for him to see himself the way he sees himself in his mind. He had to put on a costume, he had to put on a mask because he thought his authentic self, day-to-day self, wasn't really, even though I know he got his powers by something happening to him, but my point is he had to have a second identity to be a more confident person. But your second identity of your more confident self is still you in your first identity. It's just you putting on a mask because your first identity is not your most confident. So once you start to trust yourself, you're able to say, I don't need this extra armor to make me trust myself. I can just do that. Like, I don't, like, sometimes I sit in front of this camera and I think, well, okay, Taylor has another comment, so let me see. She says they're not always right. They don't have a disability. Sometimes you have to make the choice. And that is totally true. Just like when you think about, okay, there might be 5 schools that you apply to and they might all have your major. But at the same time, you might like all of these schools and you have to make this big decision. You have to weigh all your options to decide, I trust myself, this is my number one pick and this is where I want to go. So someone telling you that someone's not in your shoes so they wouldn't know can be a helpful thing to be able to start trusting yourself to make your own choices, your own decisions. And it's like, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen when you build that confidence to know. Hold on, my mom is calling. Okay, I am back. And that was like, kind of lost my train of thought. Hold on. So, we can all have two sides of ourselves, one that's full of confidence and one that's full of insecurities. Now, eventually, these two are going to have to balance each other out at some point. So, our insecurities don't overshadow our confidence to be able to trust in our own abilities. Because we all have our own abilities to be great at whatever we choose to be great at. Whether it's cooking, baking, television, health and wellness, interior design, writing, basketball, or some other type of sports, music, or television, or fashion. It's not letting your fears outweigh the trust that you have in yourself. And sometimes you just kind of have to build it. Like, I started out with one decision and it worked out. Hi, Karen, how are you? How are you? I, I, I'm glad you could be here. We're just discussing the Wisdom Wednesday topic. I thought it would be better this week to have a live discussion about trusting yourself. So that's what we're discussing. And hold on, my mom is calling. Okay, and we're back. That was my mother. So I'm glad everybody's speaking and conversating with each other, which is great. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys have any opinions on today's topics other than what we've already said? But it makes me think if mm, it makes me think about how do you cut off all of the fears and doubts that can be created when you're trying to make. I'll tell my mom you said hello. She's actually not here. That's why she's calling me on the phone. That's why she's not even here. She went to the store. But I would definitely tell her you said hello. Yeah, she's not here. She should be on her way back from the store. But that's why she was calling. Hmm. So the question I would ask, does everybody now that they're older go on their first instinct or no? Like, do you guys actually go on your first instinct when it comes to certain situations, or is it in every situation that you go off of your first instinct? Or do you actually weigh the pros and the cons, or do you go off of feelings? Because I feel like I kind of do a little bit of both. If it doesn't feel right, I'm usually not going to do it. And then I'll think about, okay, if I make a pro and con list, I'm better at trusting my own opinion when it comes to certain situations. But most of the time, my first instinct is usually right when it's like, I don't feel comfortable in this, so I'm not gonna do it. So most of the time, my first instinct is usually right. But sometimes I feel like I can be swayed just a little bit because of I want to make sure everyone else is okay and make sure um Karen says I go off of my gut feeling. Yes. I feel like if you go off of your intuition, it's usually right. Because usually your intuition doesn't tell you wrong. Okay, Taylor says, I think your first instinct is best, but I'm fidgety sometimes. I can be fidgety too, and I do agree. I can be fidgety too, but then that's when I have to like shut down all the doubts that start to creep in. Like, I just kind of have to quickly shut that door before I change my mind. Because once they start creeping in the door, I'm like, and that's when I turn into like planning mode to where if this doesn't work, then I have to try this. And then I come up with like all these million things that I start creating too many scenarios in my head when the doubt starts creeping in after I've decided to go on my first instinct. I have to quickly turn off those doubts because they will start coming in. And then I'm like trying to come up with every possible outcome. And then it's like, I spent this time trying to come out with every possible outcome when I already know that I'm going to be okay no matter how it turns out. Because when one door closes, that means it's not for me. And then eventually another one will open, but it's just I have to remind myself to not let my own fears of anything start spinning me out of control. Because that definitely can happen. It will start spinning, and then I will feel like the wheels are turning. Then I'm start thinking there's not enough hours in the day of all those things, and I'm like, really? When this is what I thought the first time. Or sometimes I have like two thoughts where I'm like, okay, this one sounds good, but then also this one sounds good. Then you have to make a choice. And then like you start playing out your two thoughts at once. Then it turns into a whole television show. Because you try to predict the outcome. But if you go off and like mostly everybody goes off of their gut feelings or their first instincts, then I think you just have to calm those fears of it all. Because there's a lot. There's a lot of, and then sometimes I feel like if I have too much time on my hands, that's also a bad thing when it comes to trusting myself. Because if I'm not filling my time with something, I constantly question pretty much every move that I make, especially if I have too much time on my hands. I don't find it relaxing or calming to just like sit still sometimes. I struggle with that because being alone with what I'm thinking can make me overthink the things that I've already decided on. Uh, Living Better says I need to work on myself of not getting upset about things so much. I can I can understand that. That's why I'm so used to filling my time, because I feel like if I fill my time with something, even though working so much can be exhausting, sometimes it's the best thing to calm my mind so I don't worry about what's what's possibly going to upset me, or trying to upset me. I kind of focus on, okay, if I can get through taking one step at a time when it comes to my own emotions and knowing that everything I feel I'm entitled to, and no one can talk me out of my feelings. Those are my feelings, and I'm entitled to my feelings. Then I don't feel upset about it as much because I know those are my feelings. And everybody's not going to feel the same way about certain situations that I feel. But no one can talk me out of my feelings because I'm entitled to them. So then that makes me less upset when I'm put in certain situations that upset me. And those tend to happen a lot when I start to think about I'm entitled to feel the way I feel, they're entitled to feel the way they feel, and if we don't come to a mutual understanding, we just have to disagree to disagree. I'm still gonna feel upset about it, but I'm not gonna try and let those feelings overcome me, because then I'm getting myself out of the calming space that I have set up for myself to know that I'm entitled to my feelings. Now, it's a whole different story when someone comes in and they're like, well, you shouldn't feel that way. That's a whole different thing. But if I constantly remind myself that I'm entitled to my feelings and I can feel however I want to feel about anything, then I'm good with trusting myself to know that I am in control about my feelings, knowing that I'm entitled to them. If that made any sense. But there's a lot of things that can be worked on in a lot of different areas, but I feel like every area that a person feels that can be worked on, it all comes back to trusting yourself and know that if you're good to yourself and you're confident, then everything else will fall into place, into line, and everything doesn't come overnight. Then that's where patience come in, and you have to be patient. And with that, Living Better says that's so true. You have the right to your own feelings and thoughts. Yes, you do. It's what you do. It's what you do with those feelings and thoughts that are going to change the outcome of what's going to happen in the situation. That's what's going to change. Not your feelings and thoughts about it, it's what you do about them. It's what you do about your feelings and thoughts that are going to change the outcome of the situation. Taylor says, sometimes I think I'm wrong because I feel upset because I can't go to the bathroom by myself. Taylor, it's not that you shouldn't feel upset about it. At some point, you have to come to terms with it. You might not like it, but that's just the situation. And you have to come to terms with it and know that you know deep in your heart, if you could, you would. You know, if you could do those things by yourself, you would be able to do them and you would have no problem. You would have no problem doing them if you could do them by yourself. But unfortunately, you can't. I can do certain things by myself, but at some point I had to come to terms with that I can't, but I'm not gonna let that make me feel less or not be able to trust in my other abilities or trust in myself just because there's one thing that I can't do for myself. Everybody needs help sometimes. Even though asking for help and trusting in yourself that you're only asking for help because you really need it can be a big thing, but you ask for help and it happens, and you know that you're doing what's right. Let's see. You know that you're doing what you feel is best. But then she says, but then I realize I'm entitled to feel that way because it's what I actually can't do. Taylor, it's not that you can't do it. It's just that you are not equipped to do it, and maybe one day you will be equipped to do it. It's just not something you're equipped to do in this moment. It takes it takes sometimes a lot longer to figure out how to do things when you have to learn things differently, and one day you will be equipped to do it. It's just that when you learn how to do it, you'll be able to do it. It's just that everybody has different different abilities, and sometimes you turn those abilities into other things, and you have other abilities that you do perfectly fine, and it all works out. Living Better says, Taylor, you are not wrong. You are in a situation that's out of your control. Everyone needs help. I got you to double check. Thank you. Ma, I am live. It's okay. Anyway. Anyway, Taylor, it's something you will probably be eventually able to do. And if it's a goal of yours, as long as you keep working at it, it'll become possible for you to do it. And I'm pretty sure you have a goal in mind that you want to reach. I may not know exactly what that is, but I'm sure it's something you'll keep working at this point. And keep trusting that. Maybe that's why I feel like I can't control it. Exactly. You can't control it, but you are in control of what you want. You are in control of what you want in your life. Even though you can't control certain aspects about your life, you are in control of majority of your life. You are able to trust yourself to know, yes, this will work for me. No, it's not going to work for me. You trust yourself to say yes or no. So the major important things you're in control of, you are in control of that. When you are in control of making like big decisions for yourself, so that you can be in control of, that you would want to be in control of those decisions to say yes or no. And as long as you keep making those choices, the most important parts you are in control of. You are in control of the type of person you want to be, the type of job you want to have, and the type of life you want to live in the future. So all of your control is not lost just because you can't do one thing in particular. The trust you have in yourself is still there. You just have to work around a few different things. And you just have to find a way to make the puzzle pieces fit. Even if that means moving around a few, taking a few out, putting a few in. As long as you keep moving the puzzle pieces, it'll work out. Living Better says, one day, Taylor, you will be able to do it. Keep trusting and believing that you will overcome and control the different things in your life. It takes time. Which that is true. But the control that you already have, basically just harness the control you already have and just learn how to use it. and keep taking those steps forward to take that control and put it together. You still have a choice, basically, at the end of the day. Just don't let what you can't do defeat you from what you really want to do. Have control over it before it takes control over you. Don't let it take your dreams away for the future. And keep finding an outlet to make yourself feel more in control and to be able to trust in yourself. Keep having that go forward. As you keep making those steps forward, everything else will get a lot easier from time to time. Just one day at a time. Sometimes a couple minutes at a time. Taylor, eat to live strong is right. Just work at it and take one step at a time. Trust me, there's a few things I'm still working on. So it'll definitely be something as you keep coming across it. You've already come so far as it is. So you just have to keep donuts. Okay, I bet. But yeah, it'll definitely come together. It's definitely trusting yourself is like painting a picture or putting your okay. Strong says it will come to the top of your charts. Never the top of your charts. Never worry about things you have no control over. Just enhance what you do. You do have and grow from it. Yes, that is true. I definitely would agree with that because there's a lot of things that are like you can't have control over everything. It's just not possible. You might want it to be possible, but it's not. And everybody works hard, so anything worth having that you want, you're just gonna have to work for it. Some a little bit harder than others, but it's just you have to work for it. Sometimes it's hard to do that because you feel like everybody should have equal or be equal, but it's like it doesn't work that way. There's always going to be something or someone out there that's better at something than you are. But you have to trust in yourself, in your own abilities and talents. Because we all have different talents. Now, I learn from pretty much everybody in this chat about something because we all have different abilities. Whether it's cooking, because I cook a lot of things, but it's not it's not nearly vegan. I have picked up a few vegan things, but I don't do well when it comes to vegan cooking unless I'm following the exact recipe. When it comes to makeup, I get inspired to do my own makeup by watching other people do makeup. And when it comes to decorating, I like to watch other people decorate. Then I attempt to redecorate what's in my house. And don't worry about Nightbot. Nightbot, I don't even know where Nightbot came from. Nightbot comes in here when he feel like it. And what he don't. I'm reading your comment and I don't see anything. Nightbot is just having a moment. Pay that thing no mind. He's just having a moment. But because you didn't say anything. You did not say anything that I don't see. So I don't know where Nightbot came from or where's his issue. Yeah, Taylor, it's just Nightbot being difficult as usual. I know y'all probably can't see him in the chat, but I can see him from my screen. I don't know. Nightbot is just being Nightbot. So pay him no mind. He just wants to be him today. He just tends to pop out the shadows when he feel like it. Let me read your comment. Anyway, I'm gonna put it up on the screen because there's nothing wrong with this comment. And plus, I like this comment anyway. It says, I only change the things I can control and pray about the things that I can't control and let God deal with the rest. That is true. Yes, Nightbot be tripping. I don't know where he came from because what you said had nothing to do with Nightbot is supposed to be doing anyway. Yes, Nightbot be tripping. Let's see. Yes, he definitely be tripping. Taylor says, what was the cream cheese in the banana pudding for again? Okay. And Taylor, you're asking me about this banana pudding recipe. Let me explain. Okay. Basic banana puddings that I have seen, or at least the ones I grew up around, have whipped cream, bananas, banana pudding, and vanilla wafers. My family, there's two different styles of banana puddings in my family. There is the one on my mother's side that only has vanilla wafers, banana pudding, whipped cream, and that's their banana pudding. But then on my father's side, there is another banana pudding that's made with vanilla wafers, a cream cheese mousse thing, bananas, and pudding. And everybody in my family is very, very top secret when it comes to their banana pudding because they believe their banana pudding is the best. And one day, my mother had asked me to make banana pudding. She asked me to make a lot of things that I've never made before because y'all know my favorite channel on TV, unfortunately, is the cooking channel. So one day she asked me Yes, there's 2 different versions of banana pudding in my family. So one day there was this party coming up and nobody was bringing the banana pudding. So I was asked to make the banana pudding. And so that recipe was based off of 2 different family recipes. I just combined what one side of the family likes about one recipe and what the other family uh, likes about the other recipe, and I combined them 2 together. So now my version is a family staple because everybody thinks my version is better than the 2 sides of the family's version now. So that's how that banana pudding recipe came to be, because nobody wanted to make it. And then when my mom's side and dad's side came together, there was this whole debate about, I don't make it this way, it's missing this ingredient and it's missing that ingredient. So I kind of took what my dad's side does and what my mom's side does and put it together. And now we have a banana pudding recipe that everybody loves. The only thing they tend to agree on now is that banana pudding should not be made with vanilla wafers because they get soggy quickly, and everybody in my family likes a little bit of a crispier cookie. So that's why when I started making the recipe, I took the vanilla wafers out because everybody complained about it getting soggy and mushy. And then the whole cream cheese thing came from my auntie. She never taught me how to make her mousse thing, so I had to create a version of her cream cheese mousse filling that she puts in her banana pudding. So that's how the new version of the cream cheese mousse came to be in the banana pudding. Because, like, I know everybody has recipes in their family that have been passed down from generations, but until they're ready to pass it down, recipes in my family are very, very tight-lipped. They want to be the ones to bring the family favorite to the party. So you're kind of just playing guessing game, trying to figure out what ingredients are in what when that person is out of commission to make the family recipe favorite. So Taylor, I hope that answered your question. Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, vanilla wafers are a good cookie, but they're not a cookie, in my opinion, for something where you're going to be setting something that's going to eventually make it soggy. Mm, we tried a bunch of different cookies, but like I said, my mom's family likes jasmine cookies. My dad's side likes vanilla wafers. So when I made it, I tasted both cookies, even though I like vanilla wafers better. Just as a cookie in general. I like jasmine cookies, but vanilla wafers, I like them better as a cookie. So I just rather eat vanilla wafers out of the box instead of putting them in the pudding. And then I've learned if you don't have the cream cheese in the filling, sometimes the banana pudding can be really, really sweet. And to cut down on the sweetness, the cream cheese helps because it's tangy. So, yeah. So, without people not passing down recipes, I had to trust myself that I've seen them and tasted it enough to make my own version. that will satisfy everyone. So sometimes when it comes to that, you just kind of going back to the topic, you have to trust yourself when nobody's giving you the recipe but they still want you to make it, because you know everybody has their family recipe. If you're given the recipe, you're not given the whole recipe. They're usually mixed. There's usually a few ingredients missed just so you don't make it just like them, so they can hold on to their baton of that they make the best whatever family dish we're talking about. So they always leave out a few ingredients. But I did my best to give y'all all the ingredients. I didn't leave out any ingredients that I used in the video. Yes. I'm always curious about how everybody else does certain recipes. Just trusting and tasting your palate is one thing. So, what time is it? It is now 6:41. We have about 10 minutes left in this live because we are going to raid Eat to Live Strong because she's going live at 7 o'clock and she's going to have a conversation about one, where she's been, and two, she's gonna give y'all some information on MS and her experience with that. So it should definitely be an interesting conversation. And I also applaud her for even being willing to. She said it's a premiere, not a live. Wait a minute. Yeah, so it's not a live. She said it's a premiere. I thought it was a live. So we're still gonna go over to her premiere because honestly I thought it was a live. But I didn't realize it was a video. But her video is going to be about where she's been in her whole multiple sclerosis journey. So that should be an interesting premiere. And let's see, what else was I thinking? So this is the time where I usually drop the link and let you guys. She's still on. Well, as she says, she's still on bed rest, but light duty. So you guys are getting her experience from the video and all of that. So it's definitely something you guys should go definitely look at. And this is the time where I usually drop the link for you guys to give Taylor. Nope, I don't mind that you got off topic because everybody's entitled to ask their questions and it's okay to ask questions. So I did drop the link if anybody wants to come up here and talk about something that they have going on or give their positivity. You know, I always like to give the whole positivity thing. Let you guys come up and give your positivity or let us know what you got going on, even when it comes to content. So I dropped the link for that. So you guys can come up here and do that. Or if you don't want to come up here, you can type hype about your content or tell us something happy, positive, or share, or something you want to share and let us know, you can do that as well. This part is all about y'all. Now, I do have a video coming up tomorrow. It's based off of the BoxyCharm unboxing I did yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday I unboxed the video. I unboxed the products, and on Thursday, I'm getting my days mixed up now for some reason. On Thursday, y'all will see the video of me doing a makeup look with all the products. This month it was a lot easier because we got an eyeshadow palette and some other little few things. I'm not going to tell you everything that came in the box because I want you to watch the video that's already up on my channel. But we did get a lot of products, and I am very proud of this makeup look because it's not something I usually wear on a regular basis. So that will be out on Thursday. And you guys will be getting videos for the rest of the week except for Sunday. So you'll get 3 or 4 more videos this week. I have not decided. But you guys will be getting a video every day this week except for Sunday. So, Eat to Live Strong says, I have some pre-recorded content, so I will be putting them out over the next few weeks. Well, I definitely will be excited to see content you have because I'm always down for a good unboxing or something, and I know you've been doing those lately, so I'm always down for a good one of those and whatever else you got planned over there. I find unboxings to be I definitely am ready for that. And let's see, what else do we got going on? So is everybody ready for this whole back to school thing? I know where I live, I've been seeing all across Instagram and Facebook, a lot of people have started back to school. But where I live, they'll be doing virtual school. And they're not starting until the middle of September. The last I checked, they're not starting until the middle of September. So how is everyone feeling about this virtual school or plans for school this year? Yeah. I thought I would definitely check in with everybody when it comes to that because I know school can be difficult. School and thoughts on school can be difficult, so if anybody wants to share their experience about that, they can do that as well. And like, I have 5 nieces and 2 nephews, and now they're all in school. Like, it's hard to believe they're all in school. They all have their own opinions now, so watching them grow into the people they are becoming is amazing. And I just think when I do these lives and they call me on the phone and tell me their opinion, I'm literally sitting here like, you have really grown into a magnificent person because they really do have strong opinions. Even when it comes to the things that I post, I never expect them to have such strong opinions about it either. Yes, they enjoy my content, but just their opinions, I'm like always amazed by their opinions on what they decide. What is everyone's plans for the rest of the day? The rest of the day, I plan to finish editing something that I have to edit. And one of my favorite shows of the summer comes on tonight. I adore Big Brother. If you don't know what Big Brother is, it's a competition. It's a competition show where 16 people are stuck in a house and they get voted off week by week, and whoever wins at the end, they win $500,000. I find it amazing that 16 people can live in a house together, play these competitions, and create alliances and fight their way to the title. I find it very interesting. And I'm actually going to try to get to bed early tonight because that's another thing on my agenda. So what do you guys have planned? Yeah, for once it's not raining here. It's been pretty much raining every day for about the past 2 weeks. We done had a bunch of storms in the past 2 weeks. I'm just happy it's not raining for once. But a nap sounds nice. I don't even. It's been a minute since I actually had a nap. It's definitely been quite a minute since I've actually had a nap. So a nap doesn't sound too bad, but I noticed if I would actually take a nap right now, I would be up by 10 o'clock and then I would not go to sleep till about 5 a.m., sometimes 7. So the nap for me at this point is out for today. But a nap does sound nice. It really, really does. But if I take a nap after the live is over, I will be up till about 7 a.m. in the morning. Because I wouldn't sleep that long and I would be up around 10 o'clock. But a nap sounds great. Let me just copy and paste Eat to Live Strong thingy in here. And we are just going to hang out for the next 6 minutes and y'all can keep telling me what content y'all got, or because I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's one thing I forgot. There is something I forgot. I have, I guess, run back, reopen, however you would like to say it. I have run back the notification group or Instagram for people to drop their videos in. So if you want to be a part of that, most of the same people that were in the last one is in it with a few new people. But if I have somehow forgotten you to be in that notification group, please let me know. You can tell me on Instagram, you can send me an email, which all of that is linked in my about section, but I did bring back the notification group. I had honestly forgot that I said I was going to bring that back, and then someone graciously reminded me, so I did bring that back, so that is on my Instagram. So if I forgot to add someone, I do apologize. And if you want to be a part of it, just send me a message, an email, a DM, however you choose. All of that's in my about section. But yeah. Need to Live Strong says her anniversary is tomorrow. And they are celebrating 32 years, which that is a wonderful thing. So happy anniversary to you and your husband. That is a big milestones when it comes to anniversary and who I don't know. That is definitely a big anniversary. So happy anniversary. And I hope even though you're on bed rest that y'all still make it fun and special and have a great anniversary anyways. And do something fun, special, something in house, something low key, a nice dinner or something. Something that makes you and your husband happy. Well, that is great. What else is going on that I need to mention? I'm trying to think. What else do I need to mention? I honestly can't think of what else to mention, but you do know that I'm always thinking about you guys, and there's always ways to contact me if you need to talk, because there's always a way for that. And I enjoy our open and honest conversations, and that you guys love to give your opinions. And I am going to drop the link, so you're welcome. We can all go over to Eat to Live Strong video premiere. I'm honestly not gonna try and cry by watching this video premiere, because when I saw she posted this earlier, I don't know, I just automatically started crying. I was like, what? And then I'm like, okay. And then it finally came, and then finally calmed down. So I'm going to yeah. But when I saw this posted, I actually did start crying, and then I kind of like, okay. And then some reason it made me emotional, and then I'm pretty sure watching this video is going to make me emotional. But here's the link, and we're going to rate her. And you guys know what to do. You just type in. Yeah, 32 years is definitely awesome. So you are going to go over to her premiere and type in Jasmine Easley Raid, and I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to see y'all tomorrow for the makeup video at 6 o'clock. I'll post it so everybody can see it. And so there's the link to Eat to Live Strong's premiere, and I'm going to say goodnight to all of you and get out of here. And I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow for a video. And I love you all. Bye for now.